My dad is pretending I'm not getting married. I am not the oop. Oop is you, Mousy Shalon. Thank you to you, Direct Caterpillar 77, for suggesting this to the BoRU. My dad is pretending I'm not getting married. Originally posted to our wedding drama. Trigger warnings. Infidelity. Controlling behavior. Emotional abuse. Child neglect. And behavioral manipulation. Less than. And NBSP. Original post, March 8, 2023. So my dad has always been a very show-off person. Announcements about grades. Telling everyone how great his daughters are doing. Telling off my sister for having a job he can't show off. When he divorced from my mom, he was a good parent for a while, and then he met Eva. Eva is way younger. Has had a lot of work done and used to send him flirty messages when he was still married. They got married very early on in the relationship because they've known each other ages. She told him not to text us too much because we are adults. She checks his phone all the time. She forbade him from seeing us Christmas Day or St. Stephen's Day because he needed to be with his new family, and it would have been disrespectful to her for him to see his ex-wife, and she's overall been an absolute nightmare. And he follows everything she tells him to do. Now I'm getting married and told my dad he's invited, but she's not. I've met the woman once and I don't like her. Plus I know my father isn't a great person and he'd be making jabs at my mom about being older than Eva, etc. To make it fair, my mom's boyfriend is also not invited, although he's a sweetheart. My dad's answer to my invite has been to pretend nothing is happening. I sent him a save the date and he sent me a thumbs up emoji. He hasn't asked me one question about the wedding. Not even the venue. Even though he told me shortly before meeting Eva that he was looking forward to me and my sister getting married and how excited he was. Myself and my fiancé are different religions and cultures, so everyone's had lots of questions about how we are handling that. Turns out he hasn't told Eva I'm getting married, and he hasn't told anyone else, so he is just planning to say he has a work trip and come to the wedding. I don't actually think he's going to show up. I think he will say he is going to and then not show at the last minute, but my sister thinks he'll show up with her and make a whole scene because he told her Eva has just as much right to be there as your mom. Anyone else dealt with something similar? Do I need a backup to walk me down the aisle? Relevant comments. Sailor Spyro. I just want to point out that your dad is in an abusive relationship. His new wife is cutting him off from his family, his support system, so she can have more control over him. He probably won't be allowed to go to the wedding because she's not invited. And probably wouldn't have been allowed to even if she was. Your dad is an ass all on his own. But I think it's important to recognize that he's still capable of being abused and that it's happening. Oop. Yes, they both suck. He has always been a cheater. At least 3 other women during the span of 10 years that we have evidence of. And I think no evidence. He was cheating on my mom with her, so that's why she's constantly monitoring his phone and not allowing him to leave the house. We told him not to marry her and that her behavior is very concerning, but he seems very blind. Grumpy Smiler. It sounds like he wants to come and he knows the only way him coming without his wife is possible is if he lies about it. He's risking getting caught to be able to go, which speaks volumes about their relationship, but if she checks his phone you're causing further risk of her finding out if you keep messaging him about the wedding. Stick to phone calls so there's no record. I hope he can make it and there's no drama. Oop. I rang him the first time to tell him I was getting married and then sent him the save the date the second time asking if he was coming. I didn't know that he hadn't told her at the time. I've no idea why the wife wouldn't let him go to his daughter's wedding, though she's as amazing as he says. And NBSP. On why his mom's boyfriend isnt invited. Far more drama if I include him and exclude Eva. It's not worth the headache. He will for sure not show up if I invite my mom's boyfriend and not his wife. My mom understands that even though my dad is not the best dad ever, I still want him there. They aren't together that long, so she's okay with her boyfriend staying at home. Plus then he can stay with the dogs and she doesn't have to worry about getting a dog sitter. Most of the family is going as well, so there's nobody to look after them. And NBSP. Update, October 9th, 2023. So it turns out my dad ended up telling Eva about my wedding and telling her that she was invited to the wedding to avoid problems. She got herself a dress, booked a hotel, etc. My dad tried to convince me to invite her, but his biggest selling point was that he thought it'd be an amazing time to introduce Eva to my mom and my mom's whole family. Why would he think my mom want to meet this woman is beyond me. And that she would feel excluded otherwise. He always rubs in our faces his new family. Even calling it his new family. Keeps canceling every dinner he sets up with my sister due to some emergency involving Eva, or tells us to call Eva mom. Both me and my sister are way beyond the point of calling some randomer mom since we both moved out, and he's being ridiculous. He called me again and again trying to convince me, and I said no, explaining that I knew the only reason he wanted to bring his wife to the wedding was to upset mom, and that I wasn't going to let the two of them do that. He makes jabs at my mom every time he's around her about how great his new wife is. I thought the whole thing was over until I sent him some information about the wedding, and I guess he started feeling guilty and told us that he booked the flight for Eva as well. And he booked himself on the same flight as my mom. Changed his whole flight plans just so he could be on the flight with her. So that my mom and Eva could still meet. AKA he could still rub his new wife in her face and try and screw with my mom's head by putting her down and making comparisons. And then Eva would just go off and shop while he was at the ceremony. I'm not sure if this is true or if he was gonna try and bring her to the wedding and hope she didn't get kicked out. I'm trying to convince my mom to change her flight so he can't get inside her head 12 hours before the wedding. I don't know if I should uninvite him. Relevant comments. Zoe Fiona. OMG yes. What has your mom done to you that you'd facilitate hurting her? Why does he know so many details of your mom's travel plans? Oop. She is the main reason I haven't uninvited him yet. She keeps saying I need to have a relationship with him and being more understanding. He knows Bexuse he acts, and we figured he was trying to avoid being on the same flight as her. Edit. Wrong word. And NBSP. Reminder, this is a repost sub IAM, not oop. To make it fair, my mom's boyfriend is also not invited, although he's a sweetheart. It is sad that the situation was unfair from the start. Mom's boyfriend didn't blow up the family. Mom's boyfriend isn't canceling for BS reasons on the sister. Mom's boyfriend isn't a cad. He should have been invited so he can sit in the middle seat between mom and dad. I don't know if I should uninvite him. I genuinely don't understand how it's even a question anymore. Christ almighty. I think mom's BF should get a last-minute invite. OOP's dad is obsessed with emotionally abusing his ex. I think he should have to watch her living her best life. Oop should hire a dog sitter and do the daddy-daughter dance with mom's BF. Oh, can't wait for the next update where dad tries to show up with Eva at the wedding regardless. This must be pretty frustrating to deal with. Clearly OP's father is an asshole, and this behavior and action is purely just to hurt the family. Especially to OP's mom. I feel bad for OP having to deal with such a father. Same goes with mom's boyfriend, cause he sounds not too bad of a person, but is unfortunately dragged into this nonsense of a drama. It's pretty clear Oop doesn't like or have any respect for her father. The logical thing to do would be to uninvite him. Oop needs to uninvite Dad and just invite Mom's boyfriend. Why risk bringing that fool and his shrew in to make drama? Sounds like it's time to re-invite Mom's boyfriend. But don't tell Dad. Edit for spelling oops. Yikes. This is going to be messy. I'm betting Eva shows up at the wedding wearing a slutty dress or a bridal gown. Or a slutty bridal gown. Oop needs to go and see with Dad even at the risk of abandoning a person in an abusive relationship. OOP's mom lives rent-free in her dad's head. He's pathetic. I don't even feel sorry for people like this anymore. All of this can be avoided by uninviting him, but for some reason he has to be there. Well then deal with everything that comes with it and leave Reddit alone. We need a wine accident friend to the rescue ASAP. I'm talking entire luggage covered in wine before the wedding even starts, because we all know she's going to show up and try for attention. I feel awful for Op. And hope they are able to get what they decide is best with awful Dad and his wife. But man, do I want the rest of the tea and some hilarious drama to shut down Dad's crazy wife. I'm not sure if I agree with that commenter that OOP's father is in an abusive relationship. Not to downplay abusive relationships or anything. Yes, he's being cut off from his daughters. But it really doesn't sound like he cares all that much. He's just happy to have that young, hot piece by his side. ID invite Mom's boyfriend and disinvite her dad. Oop seems a little stupid. They just making the same mistake over and over again. Op should have her mom in the same flight with her boyfriend. I'm sure her dad would love to see her happy. Tears of joy, tears of joy, tears of joy. Give him a taste of his own medicine. If OP's mom has a support system in her boyfriend, then let her bring him. It sounds like Mom needs all the emotional support she can get at this wedding. As does Op. Stepmother is going to show up to the wedding on purpose or by chance. Your father forgot his wallet, so I had to bring it to him type of stunt. OP's father is in a toxic relationship from the sound of it, and sounds like a narcissist. It sounds like an awful situation for Op. How much do I have to pay to get on that flight?
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.